everybody, I'm Hob.
I'm Jamie.
And you're watching
Dutch and Dragons.
And today is a continuation of our 12 weeks of adventure.
12 weeks of adventuring,
and
guys.
This week's episode is...
5 shining paladins! 4 warlocks packing, 3 rangers tracting, 2 wizards learning, and a druid trying to talk to the trees.
So we've got warlocks who are packing. I don't know where they're going. And rangers who are tracting.
Pacting. Yo, I'm just going to start typing the little song underneath it so you can laugh at me how I do badly this.
I love it. I actually put the lyrics in the descriptions.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. So that they can sing along.
I feel like that's something I should know about our channel, but I don't know it.
Yeah. So we're talking about Paladins today, and what do we like the most, Jamie?
I love how versatile Paladins are. You can do a little tanking, you can do a little DPS, you can throw some heals, you can throw some buffs. I love Paladins.
I agree. And the big thing with Paladins, what makes them so versatile, I think, in terms of the character class, is their high armor class is what makes them very good at tanking. They have good hit points. They have good hit points, but their high armor class is really what makes them able to stand toe to toe with a foe. And look, I'm being all poetic. And,
you're a poet,
throw down.
And you know it.
Yeah, some days. But anyhow, so they're a very versatile class. They've got a lot of range, and depending on the deity that they worship and some of the choices that the player makes, they've got a lot of great role-playing potential, which leads us to...
What are the biggest misconceptions? And I'm going to say it, biggest misconception is that if you play a paladin, you have to be a shiny britches. You have to be lawful good all the time, and make good choices.
And that's not true. Not anymore. It used to be. In previous editions of Dungeons & Dragons, as many of you may know, the Paladin was required to be a lawful good alignment.
Had to be shiny pants.
And that's because they were the champions of the righteous deities. And very specifically, they were the champions of light and good and
all the fluffy things.
Yes, and all the fluffy things. So that's no longer the case. Your Paladin's alignment should coincide with the deity which your Paladin gives their service to. So if you're worshipping a nature deity and their alignment is neutral, good, then your Paladin's alignment should be kind of in sync with that. And you could go lawful good, but that could create some potential conflict with your deity, which is okay.
And you could also, pick a god, any god.
Yeah, you could also
run with it.
You could also run towards what was it?
Well, in Xanathar's, they have the Path of the Conqueror, which is really quite different
and
for
much more aligned with an evil or chaotic alignment.
Or chaotic alignment. You could even play that as good. It's just their view of good is not going to be necessarily another character's view of good.
Right, and your Tempest aligned Paladins are going to be a little bit different, but we're going to order coffee. So one moment,
and we're back
like magic.
I know.
Right. All right. So we were talking about Paladins. So a Tempest Paladin would probably lean much more towards the chaotic.
Tempest? No, Tempest is a cleric.
Oh, is that a cleric?
That's a cleric.
Oh, that's my bad. So I get the two confused sometimes because in my mind the cleric's very superfluous.
He does not like clerics, guys. I'm sorry, clerics out there.
But anyhow, all right. So what's your favorite subclass?
Path of the Ancients.
My favorite subclass is actually Conquest. I really think that has a lot of dynamic capability and a lot of roleplay potential.
I really liked when I played Conquest. That was a really fun Paladin.
It's got a lot of meat.
It's very different, and it's got a lot of meat to it.
And I think we can both agree on our favorite race for the class.
Dwarf.
Dwarves make the best Paladins.
Dwarves make the best Paladins.
Absolutely the best Paladins.
I love Dwarf Paladins.
Don't care what anybody says.
Yep.
Fight me for it.
They say tieflings and stuff, and no, dwarves. Oh, now we just got really shaky. Something came loose.
No.
We're on the sea.
We're on a hill.
Oh, I was like, we're in the sea, guys.
We're on a slight incline. Sorry about the buzzy camera. All right, so what's the next question?
Well, we answered what our favorite race was. What is your favorite contemporary or classic example of this class? Ooh.
So Captain America is a solid.
Yep.
I also think that the Dudley Do-Right cartoon, that dude's totally a paladin, like absolute shiny britches. What else you got?
Absolute shiny britches. Okay, so who would you say is the paladin in Lord of the Rings?
The paladin in Lord of the Rings.
Is there a paladin?
There isn't. There really is not a paladin in Lord of the Rings. Because Gimli's very much a fighter.
Yeah.
And, of course, Legolas is the ranger.
Right.
The actual ranger, not the ranger in profession. Strider, see, and I always pegged Strider as more of like the actual rogue in the group, which is kind of weird.
Okay. Well, about Merry and Pippin.
And Merry and Pippin are definitely rogues.
They're definitely rogues.
They're just a different kind of rogue.
They're just a different class of rogue.
Different kind of rogue. So, but I don't think that there really is a paladin in... I mean, you could take Boromir as the paladin for a little while.
Well, he's definitely a fallen paladin.
But very much the fallen paladin.
And he does the epic redemption.
He does do that epic. He does pull that epic redemption. So I'd say Boromir. Boromir.
Okay.
The oft forgotten Boromir.
Poor Boromir.
All right, so.
And we're just strictly kind of talking movie here because we're trying to do like
yeah, whatever
stuff that people who aren't into it are
whatever.
Anyway, whatever. Never mind.
We're just doing stuff. And at random. So
we are. That's the way we are, man.
Enjoy it.
So if you're gonna do a class, you're gonna do paladin / what would you do a class with?
I don't know.
I know. I'm kind of like...
That's really tough.
The paladin is so kind of great by itself.
I mean, you could put it with fighter or barbarian and pull out some really interesting
raging
builds.
Paladins.
But I don't know. I don't know that you gain a whole lot of benefit except maybe earlier multi-attack.
Yeah.
The earlier multi-attack might be helpful. Would be helpful for the paladin. But that's a hard one. You tell us. What would you multi-class with?
Yeah, what would you multi-class? Your paladin with, or if you have, what have you done? I have done a paladin with a few levels of cleric. No, a cleric with some levels of paladin. That was an interesting mashup. I don't know if I would do it again, and I didn't take a ton of one.
I don't think you ever go more than like 3 levels in any multi-class.
Yeah, I never went more than 3 levels in the paladin, and I had a good reason for it, which I can't remember now.
Couldn't tell you.
But I have
no idea. No idea.
And it might have been more. It might have been more character creation based, like was a paladin, now a cleric kind of a thing. But yeah, I don't know what you. I like paladins all by them onesies. So, what is your favorite magical item for a paladin?
Almost unilaterally magic armor of some kind, because boost to their armor class out the wazoo. And you could also go with things like, crazy stuff like hammers of thunderbolts, which require belts of dwarven kind and gloves of giant strength. So
those are all good for paladins.
Anything that you can do that boosts their damage output of their armor class is going to be
and it might have been a homebrew
benefit.
item. Now that I say this, I can't remember. What was that ring? There was a ring that we gave one of the paladins that let them step between one of the squishier party members and the bad guys.
Oh, that was totally a homebrew item.
Some of my favorite items homebrew.
It was a homebrew ring that allowed a party member to interpose themselves as a reaction to a successful attack against a party member, so they could actually take the damage as in place of the other party member. Yeah. Now we're gonna get coffee.
We're gonna fall.
All right, and we're back.
All right.
Like magic. We have the coffee.
So what do you feel is the Paladin's most useful spell or ability?
I really like, from the Oath of Vengeance, I really, really like the Vow of Enmity.
Enmity?
N-E-N.
Okay,
M-I-T-Y. Or hate, I guess, would be another way of putting it. But the Vow of Enmity, I'm probably saying it wrong, but whatever. Anyhow, so this vow is a channel divinity ability within the Paladin Oath of Vengeance tree that allows the Paladin to block the escape of their foes. So if you are fighting a creature or an enemy of any kind, you can, as a reaction, utter your vow of enmity and move up to half of your movement speed after successfully completing an attack of opportunity. And that movement does not induce other attacks of opportunity. So if you're engaged with multiple foes and one tries to break away, you can immediately chase after them if you successfully hit with an attack of opportunity.
Nice.
Which is movement powers in 5e. Anything that lets you move freely without attacks of opportunity is phenomenally useful.
It's pretty boss.
It's pretty boss. What about yours?
Well, Oath of the I can't speak. I can't speak the English. Oath of the Ancients. I would say it's Aura of Warding.
Okay.
Because it's like, and you get it at like 7th level, so you don't have to be super thank you. High powered to have it. But I get so distracted. But it lets you protect anyone within like 10 feet of you from spell damage. You get resistance to spells, which is a huge super handy.
Resistance is another one of those things that if you have powers that let you have resistance or grant resistance to your party, bomb.
It's pretty bomb, and you get it at 7th level.
Seventh level. So it's a mid-level ability.
It's a mid-level ability, but it's really good.
Nothing to shake a stick at, but
better than a poke in the eye. Final thoughts on the Paladins. We love Paladins. Can you tell?
We do. We love the Paladin character class. If you've never played one, we strongly suggest you try playing one. I think you'll find that they're a lot more versatile than most people would let on for role-playing as well as combat type encounters.
And you don't have to be a goody two-shoes. Don't let it stop you.
You don't even necessarily have to tie yourself to a specific deity if that's a turn-off for you. You can tie yourself to like the Oath of the Ancients, which is more about nature and ancient places and preserving and protecting those sacred places. History.
Preserving and protecting history, y'all.
So, lots of options, lots of versatility. Give the Paladins a try and let us know what you think.
Yeah.
That's all we have for today. If you would like to see more of what we do, click the the subscribe, and the little bell so that you get notifications.
Yep.
If you want to berate us or ask us questions, please leave those in the comments below, and we will be happy to get back to you in the next video or a future video if we aren't running a series. Yeah, just don't be trolls.
We don't feed the trolls.
Yeah, you don't feed the trolls. Feeding the trolls is bad because then they get back up and they try and eat you, and it's all bad business. Yeah,
it's just not a good idea.
It's all bad business. But anyhow, thank you for joining us, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Castle.